Greetings everyone, welcome to Advanced, and this is one of the most amazing rounds you'll ever have. This is the finals of the FIDE Swiss. Whoever wins is in the candidates, and it's going to be a spectacular round. With the white pieces we have Anish Giri, with the black pieces we have Hans Niemann. This is going to be one amazing fight up, and yeah, this is going to be one who decides it all. So let's see how that goes. Anish starts with c4. When you want to fight, you go for the English or you go for the Reti. Here just knight to f6, knight to c3, e5, and just knight to f3, knight to c6, e3 now, but just here bishop to b4, queen to c2, bishop captures, queen captures, and now just going for queen to e7, a3. We have d5 now, immediately striking in the center. And here if you choose to go for c captures, your position is going to be much worse. Knight captures, let's say you play queen to c2, but after e4, now knight is attacked. Where do you even move it? If you go back to the initial square, it's going to be bad. So here if you go for knight to d4, knight captures, c captures, your position is simply starting from it is just not going to be helpful at all. So here in this position after d5, we have d4 immediately striking in the center as white. Now we have e captures, knight captures, queen captures, and just c5 attacking the queen. And now we have queen to h4. Either you go back or you go to the h4 square. There is nothing here. Bishop to e6, but now just c captures, knight captures. You can trade immediately, but Anish decides to throw in a very nice check here. Bishop back to d7, but now just queen captures, knight captures now. Bishop to e2, still keeping the bishop pair, because with the white pieces, you want to know that you have some chances in this position. And Anish is a little bit better, so he may try to just push over from that and go into a very technical endgame where just one mistake by his opponent, and yeah, it's gonna be very devastating. Here rook to c8 was played, but now just f3. F3 is a very nice move. You can get the king in, you don't have to castle in this position. And now just f6 by Hans. Here just king to f2, king to f7, and just rook to d1, getting the rook into the game. Bishop to e6, now h4. h4 is a very nice Divya like move in this position, trying to just push for an attack, also saying that, I know I'm better, I'm just going to be pushing here, trying to go for an attack, trying to just lay all over your position and just see that if the end game a bit technical you can handle or not. Here just b6, but now just e4, knight to c6, and now just going for this bishop to e3. And you could go for knight to e5 in this position, a very nice centralizing move, and there is no trouble with that. If you go for rook to d2, rook h to d8, rook a to d1, rook captures, I mean, knight cannot jump in here anywhere, but still the central things are always handled, and if you push, then the knight jumps, and you don't want that to happen. So that's why this is a fine position. There is nothing wrong with it. But after bishop to e3, Hans decided to go for knight to a5, maybe thinking about something like this and remaneuvering the knight back, but I don't think so. Here was something going like that, but here just rook to d6, rook h to e8, and just g4. Knight to b7, now attacking the rook to d2, and just knight to e5, knight to a5 just. Okay, rook to d6, knight to b7, both players just repeating moves, seeing that maybe the other person is interested for a draw, but they cannot go for a draw. If they go for a draw in this position, the trouble is that they will have like 7.5 both, and if the first board also goes for a draw, all of them will have 7.5 points, and whoever has the aggregate rating points more, they will be able to win. And if aggregate draws, then you have bookles, and that's going to be, I mean, really difficult. So here rook d to d1, but just knight to a5, rook a to c1, and just king to e7, bishop to a6, now attacking the rook c to d8, and just rook captures, now just going for b4 immediately, now asking what are you going to do in this position. And definitely this b4 is one of the best moves in the position. Here just knight to b3, attacking the rook, but just rook to c3, attacking the knight. Now just going for this rook to d6, b captures, and here just rook captures on b3, a very nice inclusion. That's why this move works, because this is the line. Here just bishop captures was played, but now the trouble is bishop captures on c5, and now what do you do? A normal person like anyone else here in this position would go for a move like just unpinning here, but trouble is here Hans actually went for king to d7, and king to d7 is the move that loses the endgame right on the spot. The move that you wanted to play was h6, because you don't want to allow g5 to happen. The trouble is, when you look at this position, objectively speaking, it looks like a draw, but here technicality of the position is that you have an extra pawn, because now you just captured it and now you're pinning the rook. So the trouble is that with this structure and with this structure, you want to be able to play g5, because once g5 comes in, and if you're able to trade, this becomes a passer, and once you have a passer, once you have connected passer, this is going to be a winning endgame. So that's exactly what he was going for. He just bishop captures was played, king captures, and now just h5. I mean, this was not played, but this is what could have happened. This was the best defense that Hans had. King to e5, you play king to e3, next f4 is coming, your position is still a draw. White is better, white can try to push, but if you played perfectly, most likely the game would have ended in a draw. But here after bishop captures on c5, there's the critical moment. Here king to d7 was played, and now this king to d7 turns out to be really huge inaccuracy by Hans. And here just bishop captures, king captures was played, but now comes g5. Anish finds the move, and there is nothing you can do now, because now the position is very very much winning. But again, it's very technical. Anish was trying to go for it, but the question is that now can you convert here bishop to e6? Now just comes king to e3, king to c5, king to f4, and just king to d4. Still not allowing you to push that pawn. If you push that pawn, it's completely winning. Not right now, obviously, but whenever you'll be pushing. So here g captures, now g captures, but there is a very nice way where you can push. You can, in this position, all you have to do is just get the bishop in. So most likely here a4 was played, but now just comes h6, a5, now just putting the pawn on a dark square. That's what you want to do. Bishop to d7, and what you want to do is basically you want to get the bishop here. You want the bishop on this diagonal opposing this bishop. So whenever this bishop moves, you occupy the diagonal, and now you get the king in, and here you will be unstoppable. There is nothing anyone can do in this position. So what you want to do maybe in this position is maybe just remaneuver the bishop here all the way like this, and that's what Anish said in the interview as well. What you want to do is get the bishop remaneuvered maybe here as well. That will be fine as well, and then you'll be able to win the endgame. And it's very technical, but the thing is that maybe you can try something, but it's very unlikely that you'll be able to do anything. Bishop to e2 was played, but now just comes king to c5, e5, now finally going for the pawn push because king allowed it, and now just king to d5, but just pawn captures, and there is nothing you can do here. King to e6 was played, but now just comes f7, king caps on f7, but now here king to e5 was played, and it was on this move, on move 46, that Hans Niemann resigned the game. And with that, Anish Giri is there. He's going for the candidates after so long. He got really close last time going for the candidates, but now he's in, and definitely with a huge prize as well. FIDE Swiss, he's able to win FIDE Swiss with a great score of 8 out of 11. That's absolutely spectacular, and it's going to be absolutely amazing for the spectacular Dutch player, half Indian player. And yeah, most likely he could do really amazingly in candidates, and if he continues this form, he's been playing absolutely amazing here. So let's see what he's able to conjure. But a really huge congratulations to Anish to be able to play like this spectacularly. He was almost all the games he has converted spectacularly, flawlessly, and with no issues whatsoever. So amazing play by him. All I can say is if he continues his form, he's going to be unstoppable and definitely unbeatable. So let's see what he has to offer. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming back with games like these, so stay tuned to the channel, stay updated, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you very much for watching.